Hello everyone, Tzilla54 is my name, and welcome to another review of the latest and most greatest figure that I purchased from Godzilla store a couple of weeks ago. But I did manage to have this in the package, but I didn't order. I also didn't order by one item, but I also ordered two more items, which is the apron and the Godzilla t-shirt, the 70th anniversary. But for the last item that I wanted to talk about is this. And here he is, the moment you've been waiting for. Bagan, the God of Darkness. Yes, that's right. The God of Darkness himself. Alright, so what I'm going to tell you is that before we begin our articulation, I want to talk to you about the history of this guy. So, back then, somewhere in 1993 or 1980 or somewhere between 1980s or the 90s, this monster almost appeared in several Godzilla films, but at the same time, but the only bad news is that this monster is always scrapped. Because not only this monster gets left behind, but it's because of every popularity of monsters such as King Ghidorah, Mothra, Mechagodzilla, Rodan, or any monsters that they got in the past, like the Showa series. But this, however, this monster appears in the Heisei series, that it has so many Godzilla titles, but sometimes it also has like Mothra movies. Like sometimes there's one that does explain about the movie it was supposed to called Mothra vs. Bagan in 1991, I believe. So, for this movie, it explains about Mothra and Bagan were fighting back in the day before this monster wakes up in the global warming in China. Then this monster terrorizes the world with its almighty powerful. But then Mothra came in and she began her fight with this guy. So Mothra continued the battle with him, but as for addition for this battle, Mothra larva, a newborn Mothra, would also come to help its parent, and together they managed to defeat Bagan in their own battle. But besides Mothra vs. Bagan, that's one of the canceled movie titles that it was in production, but it was scrapped. Now we move on to another Godzilla. Now we move on to a Godzilla title called Godzilla vs. Bagan. That was also planned in 1991 before it became Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Now, also I would love to say about this Bagan is that this Bagan, he does appear in one of video games such as Super Godzilla on Super Nintendo, which is pretty awesome. And I do have Super Godzilla for Super Nintendo, but I also play on Retron 5, one of my newest console that I got in a game store called Game Grid. And it was nearby, and it's not that far from where I live. So I enjoyed playing Super Godzilla, and I died as normal Godzilla because I was supposed to wait for the Super X 2, that it was supposed to transform me into Super Godzilla. And yes, this guy is the final battle for Super Godzilla on Super Nintendo. And he's on level 6. And level 6 is the final level. when you're about to face off Bagan. And also, I would love to mention about Bagan, like, just like Super Nintendo, he also appeared in a different game such as Godzilla Movie Studio Tour. And then, if you have if you do have an app that you downloaded on your phone or your tablet for a new Godzilla game called Godzilla Battle Line, he also appeared on your phone or your tablet. And that's only because if you wanted to find him in Legendary Expedition, or you can just go onto the store on your game, and hopefully you'll be lucky enough to get this guy. Alright, now that I'm done talking about history about this guy, I'll show you his card. So what we got here is a traditional Bagan, the picture of Bagan that it was released in 2023, and there's his name in Japanese and English. So here we go. So there's Bagan in Japanese and English. And by the way, did you know that his name was meant to be called Bakan, as it spells Bakan, but without the G in it? But the reason why they wanted to change that name Bakan to Bagan is because the word baka in Japanese, that means idiot. So that's why they wanted to switch the K, and they got the letter G in it, so that this would make it even more better than saying Bakan. So right now, he is called Bagan. Now, I'll show you what's behind the card, is that this is called the Godzilla Exclusive Edition Movie Monster Series, as it said so right here. And on the inside, you got this amazing information about him. But you could also scan this if you want it, that you can go ahead and pause it and read it. So that way you can just get your own Bagan. And it was amazing. And it's amazing to have this card, especially with this figure as well. So I also removed the card from the back of the body, such as right here. But I don't know if you can actually see it, but there's this hole right here. That's where the card is. So what I do is that I grab a blow dryer and I set it off for about like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then once you make it soft, you can easily remove the plastic line that was securing this toy, and then you pull it off, and now you won't be able to hear this annoying noise inside of this figure. And that's pretty much it. Now, let's go over the articulation. So, the arms can almost go to 360 degrees, but it was too hard to move around the arms because this part right here, this was blocking the arms. So, try not to do that as I did. Now we go on to this arm. Same thing with the rotation for about 360 degrees. Now I'll show you that we can move the leg up high. And again, as I said about the arms, the leg attempts to hit the arms, and it forces the arm to move up. So you might want to be careful with this figure while you're handling it. So detail. The detail about this figure, oh my gosh, I'm going to be honest with you. I have never, and I repeat, I've never seen an amazing figure like this. And I didn't even know that this was meant to be as like one of the most recognizable monsters. Like he's gone, but he's not forgotten. You see what I just did there? But anyway, I love how they put purple on these things Like, I'm not so sure what they are, because I thought these are like wings, like, you know, that whenever he activates the see-through wings, like one of the dragons or any other kaiju that does have wings, sort of. But I could never imagine how would it be like if he can fly. Now for the horns on top, so we get this some kind of bull horns, like he was like a bull, but there's another hole on top right here, which is the third one. So I can also tell you about what his powers are. Is that his powers that it can shoot plasma beam from his mouth. Then it has like oh yeah. So if I remember from Super Godzilla, he has like 3 abilities from whenever you fight him or whatever he attacks you with. So as I said before, he can shoot a plasma beam from his mouth. Then on his fingertips, which is the index finger, and I did see it, what happens that if I took damage from his fingertip right here on the index finger, he goes swipe, and then he would damage you. Like, he gives you so much damage. But thankfully, if you're a Super Godzilla, you won't be taking enough damage for him. Or correct me if I'm wrong. And now for the last ability is that he creates like a diamond storm, which is an energy comes out of his body, and it shows like 3 diamonds up in the sky because it looks like a shape of a diamond. Then it rains down on you, and you take damage as well. Now, what I'm going to do right now is that I'll show you at the tail. The tail looks so fleshy, but even though his whole body is kind of fleshy, but it was so cool without a doubt. And I also like the armor plates that's on his chest and the lower body. And inside the mouth, wow. Can you believe how much they have so much time to make a paint details on this guy? Wow, like, man. But they did a good job on this figure. But even though I did heard about there's another figure that it was like a repainted figure about him, that it was supposed to be like a video game version of himself. Because what we got right here in my hand, we got like a movie-based figure. And I was hoping if I were able to find another figure, a repainted figure like him, and that would be the video game-based figure. Alright, so with that being said, I'll show you a size comparison to Bagan. So I also have one of the same figures as Movie Monster Series. So here we have Godzilla -1, or Godzilla 2023, as we call it. So here's how big he is compared to Bagan. Next up, I'll show you one of the Bandai creation that it was released in North America. And I got it from Kmart before it was shut down. And here we have Destroyer. And yeah, as you can see, you see how big those wings are. But if I close them, then we'll bring him closer together. Or maybe this will help. So, as you can see, both of their feet are almost the same, but not quite. But especially on the kneecaps, because I thought they were going to like add something else to this guy, such as like a horns on the knees, but they're saving it for Destroyer. Now let's go ahead and bring out another guy. And what I mean by that, I mean like Bagan. So here's Bagan compared to Bagan. Hold on, give me a second. So here's how big Bagan is compared to Bagan. Next, we'll bring out one of the NECA figures. And we are going to introduce NECA Godzilla 1989 from Godzilla vs. Biollante. Next, our next figure will be the Soul of Chogokin Mechagodzilla 1975. And last, oh, excuse me, I got two more figures to compare. Now, let's bring out King Caesar. One of the, also he is also from Bandai Creation that I have from Destroyer. And then last but not least, but if I have SH Monster Arts King Kong, like either King Kong 2021 or 2024, but this guy will bring out Scar King just so that I can show you what it would be like if I have King Kong with me, then I would compare it to this guy. Alright, so that's pretty much it about Bagan. But I have a surprise for all of you. So I go to mall and I stumble across the brand new figures or blind boxes such as these guys. So here we have as a bonus item, here we have a monster head magnet, and we have Godzilla Evolved, King Ghidorah 1964, Gigan 1972, Rodan 1993, or Fire Rodan, if you will. Then here we have Mothra 1992, and finally Godzilla 1984, or 84 Goji. So here's the information about the box. And here's one of those choking hazard. And do not share it with children under 8 years old. So do be careful if you intended to give it a child. So anyway, what I'm going to show you first is that blind bag for Godzilla, I believe it's called, oh, here we go, All Monster Encyclopedia. So it's all about what kind of figures that you're going to get. So I'll show you what's the back of it. Here we have the Collect Them All. And we got like a complete cast from Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, such as Godzilla 1994, Space Godzilla, Mogira 1994, Little Godzilla, then down at the bottom, and at the bottom, here we have Godzilla 1989, Multi-Purpose Fighting System Kiryu, Biollante, the Rose form, and Hedorah, the final form. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we get. Oh, wow. Would you look at that? And what it appears to be some kind of like a Godzilla skin or something, but hopefully I'll find a way to open up and here we go. Sorry if I'm hitting the camera. And I believe this should be it. No? Alright. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab some pocket knife or anything, something I could find. So, we'll be right back. And we're back. Sorry I couldn't find my scissors or my pocket knife. But anyway, so we're gonna open just like this, and look what we got. We've got a multi-purpose system Kiryu. Or I mean, multi-purpose fighting system Kiryu. And wow. You see how long this is? And there's his body at the front. Not bad. Alright, so now we're going to have to open this up and let's build it together and see if we can actually finish this without failure. So this might take a while again, so I'll be right back once I finish every body parts of this guy. And we're back again, and I finally put all the pieces together, and just look at that detail. Wow. And he looks very, very cool, if I'm being honest with you. And I just can't imagine how would it be like if I grab every single blind bags and put them all together and put it on my shelf. But anyway, not only it comes with this figure, but it also comes with, sorry I hit the camera. It also comes with the separate pieces, and this building is also separate pieces that you could assemble together, and then there's nothing else that you could do with this piece of building, and you could just like set it up and put Kiryu onto the battlefield like this, however you can, and make him like posable, and make him posable as if he was fighting against Godzilla whatsoever. Now that we're done with this guy, now let's go ahead and open up the monster head magnet. Now, before I actually open this box, I'm going to have to say if we're going to get either Godzilla Evolved or Godzilla 1984, but personally, I would be happy if I get Rodan. So, let's see what's inside, folks. Oh man, this is so exciting. And oh my gosh! What? Woo-hoo-hoo! Well, I know what you saw, but oh my goodness! And it came with the instructions as well. It's obviously what you have to do with this, but ta-da! And look at that! It's the 1984 Godzilla, aka 84 Goji. Woo-hoo-hoo! This is so cool! I love it how it has a face detail. Oh man. Anyway, so if you look closely to this guy, you can see how he's got like his eyes were looking up for some reason, but it is what it is. It was based on the man in a suit wearing 84 Goji. But my gosh, I love the ears. Man. Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but I did guess that it was going to be Godzilla 1984, Godzilla Evolve, or Fire Rodan. But yo, I'm just so happy to have him. Okay. So that's Bagan's video review, but also a brand new figures or blind boxes. That's for a bonus for this video. So I hope you like it. And tell me your thoughts about Bagan, Kiryu, and 84 Goji. So anyway, I'm very proud to share this with all of you. So, as always, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell for another brand new video that I will post it for another week. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.